I mean, that's a disaster. Tom Aspinall still can't see. He's got a fucked up right eyeball still.
It's really bad, right?
The reality is he might not ever fight again. Like, who knows? Like, if he has surgery on his eye and it doesn't go well and he can't see out of the eye, apparently he's still fucked up in his right eye. There's some tendon damage or something. And, eyes are so tricky, you never know. Unless you're a fucking complete psychopath like Michael Bisping, who fought 11 fights in the UFC blind in one eye, which is so crazy that he did that.
That's not what he says.
I did his podcast,
shit,
right? That's your buddy. I did his podcast.
That's my buddy, man. But he's so stupid, man.
What did he say? I did not see this.
Bro, let me put this dude, Josh, man. Josh gonna go up on. See, here's the problem. You know what? So Josh always talks to me about moving to Texas. Oh man, it's so nice in Texas. Problem with moving to Texas is you start believing in stuff that just is not true, man. People, they really.
There's something captivating about that legendary Texas mystique, that sweeping romantic fantasy where people cling to beautiful lies. The dream that careers in this savage game are built on walking through those caged doors carrying some piece of pure innocence.
It's not true. It's just not true. Where did Josh Thompson hear that? Could you ever wonder why?
But, Daniel, did you see who ended up in the Epstein files?
Rogan, but that's not true.
Yes,
Rogan wasn't in. Rogan wasn't.
John
in
Jones.
John
Jones.
You're a liar.
John Jones was his favorite fighter.
Bro, you're a liar, bro.
No bullshit. Go type it in.
Swear on everything.
Swear on everything. You know what? I'll try to send it to Luis right now because you can search them yourselves. Yeah, that's John Jones' favorite fighter.
Let me shatter that illusion for you right now. Enter that octagon with even the smallest trace of that innocent hope, and you've sealed your fate before the first bell rings. This has nothing to do with fairy tale destinations or wishful thinking. This is about facing the stone-cold facts of what the UFC actually represents. This machine exists for one purpose only: pure, unfiltered violence. They worship power, and it's that relentless, brutal mindset that separates real fighters from weekend warriors. Get distracted by the circus atmosphere, or fall for hollow commitments whispered in back rooms away from the sweat and blood of training, and your foundation crumbles. When those merciless spotlights hit and you're staring down an opponent who lives in reality, someone completely stripped of fantasies, the reckoning comes, and that reckoning will destroy you.
I was critical because I felt like he talked about it, and then it just like kept on and kept on and kept on. And I felt like he should just kind of leave it alone and for a minute. And yeah, it sucks. And here's the thing: is he kind of accused Sorgan of cheating? And I'm actually curious to hear your opinion because of a specific opponent of yours. I feel like the ability to poke someone in the eye from space, like that's kind of hard. And if you could be that accurate, why wouldn't you just punch him in their eye?
Now here's where everything gets absolutely insane and honestly deeply disturbing. Just dropping someone's name in connection with those notorious Epstein documents completely flips the script, doesn't it? This isn't some throwaway gossip. This is an earth-shattering allegation. Hearing something like that forces you to question everything about that person's true nature and their buried secrets. It paints them with one of the most damaging brushes in modern memory, the kind of stain that follows you forever.
But in the Octagon, and things are moving so fast, right? I was more inclined to believe that it was an accident. Tom Aspinall doesn't believe it. He thinks without a shadow of a doubt, Cyril Gane poked him in the eye on purpose. I don't believe it. But regardless of that, right? On purpose, on accident, he's still suffering long-term damage from this. How long does the UFC wait, though? Hey, Josh was wrong. I don't think that ask has been made yet. If the UFC wanted to, they could just make an interim title fight between someone else while the champion waits. Tom Aspinall fought last year.
Listen up, because we need to get something straight here. When we're breaking down Octagon controversies, the problem goes way beyond some fighter's finger slipping by mistake. We're talking about the psychology behind every movement, the intentions you bring when those hands start flying. This is a trained killer whose fingertips can turn rogue, becoming a calculated, devastating tool. Nothing happens by accident at this professional level. Not in the UFC, where every single strike carries championship consequences. One wrong move, whether intentional or not, can completely destroy a fighter's trajectory, steal away title opportunities, or end everything they've worked for. And look, if you can land an eye poke that doesn't look like pure bad luck but seems almost perfectly timed, that's a weapon that destroys competitive integrity. The mind games start long before physical contact begins. When opponents expect dirty tactics, they fight scared, constantly defensive, completely abandoning their strategy. These accusations don't stay quiet either. They spread like wildfire, permanently damaging reputations and connecting fighters to narratives that never go away. Some associations are permanent.
This injury, it's like, why can't we get these guys together? And that's one of the things the UFC's been so good at, is putting the best athletes together in order to fight, and they didn't do that. Hey, I just dropped in the chat. Damn it, I'm gonna text you guys. I'm gonna text you the email from Epstein.
Dude, you're so crazy.
He wants the John Jones Brandon Vera fight.
Welcome to the absolutely merciless world of the UFC, where accidents don't exist. Only brutal, unforeseen consequences that you completely failed to anticipate or prevent. You think Tom Aspinall's burning certainty that he was deliberately fouled doesn't eat at his soul every single day? That psychological damage cuts just as deep and lasts just as long as any physical injury to his vision. The UFC runs on one principle only: performance and results, not sympathy for anyone. They don't give a damn how you got hurt or what you're going through. Can you fight or can't you? The championship demands constant action, and if you can't step up when called upon, they'll book an interim title fight without blinking. Your reign becomes meaningless. The second doubt creeps in. Makes you wonder if anyone at the top actually wants to compete anymore. Just look at what Tom went through.
Like 7 million emails. So it's an email from Jeffrey Epstein to someone else saying he wants to watch the John Jones fight. Too funny.
That's so funny. Hey, man. But I think that's a great point, honestly.
Yeah. It stinks.
I never thought of it like that. Because here's the deal. Heavyweight is struggling right now, man.
Big time.
Heavyweight is struggling right now. And I love the big boys. But it feels like when you look at the heavyweight division, Lou, throw the rankings in the chat.
Listen to that frustration building, that growing anger hanging heavy in the air. Everyone's asking the same thing. Why won't the UFC put their actual champions in there to fight? This isn't some elaborate backstage conspiracy. It's something much more basic. The crushing, overwhelming weight of holding a title that makes even the most dangerous fighters carefully avoid truly risky opponents. John Jones's legendary status and complete dominance creates a prison for the entire division. Other elite fighters get trapped in psychological warfare. They're petrified of risking perfect records or hard-earned rankings. Here's what really matters though. When top contenders spend their time ducking each other, when they refuse to face the best competition, the whole championship landscape becomes a complete farce. Evolution stops dead in its tracks, rankings become worthless, and the only people who pay the real price are the warriors brave enough or desperate enough to actually enter that cage. So tell me, considering all of this, are we watching legitimate sport anymore? Or just elaborate theater?
It was a bad fight. Him and his opponent got so fatigued. They looked like they weren't ready to fight. They also looked like they just they didn't look as skilled as we have seen fighters look recently. So what you really need is you need the best guys fighting to kind of wipe the bad performances out. Because guess what?
Want the real conversation about heavyweight competition? This division isn't just having problems. The rot runs deep, and I can sense the decay. Current rankings are nothing but an elaborate illusion hiding the complete collapse of championship mentality. We're not seeing the rapid evolution of fight IQ, the relentless savagery you'd expect from true apex predators representing the absolute peak of combat sports. What exists instead is stagnation, predictable outcomes, and the devastating consequences of this standstill are hitting the UFC's biggest names exactly where it destroys them most: their star power and their legacy. This goes beyond just the handful of athletes sitting at the summit. It's a massive systematic failure to generate truly compelling high-stakes narratives that grab audiences by the throat. When the biggest, most intimidating humans on the planet can't deliver the raw electric excitement that drives pay-per-view sales, what does that say about the entire combat sports pyramid? That question should terrify everyone involved.
Tez, maybe? Is that his name?
Waldo or Cortez Acosta.
Yeah, him.
Yes. But again, bro, he got beat. He's good. He's good, right? But he's lost fights. It's just not in a great place. Would you say that if you put Waldo Cortez Acosta in there with Cyril Gahn or Tom Aspinall, he'd be competitive? Would you?
You're right. So he lost in August of 25 to Pavlovich, who's Pavlovich is ranked pretty high.
And Pavlovich got knocked out by Tom Aspinall.
Welcome to the UFC. This is not some rinky-dink amateur show happening in a poorly lit gym somewhere. When you witness fighters completely gassed out, looking like they've forgotten how to compete in the middle of a major bout, understand this goes far beyond just having an off night. This represents a catastrophic breakdown of professional standards, a massive failure of mental preparation on the sport's grandest platform. You're not observing a rough evening, you're watching the direct result of inadequate training and missing heart. Dana White absolutely hates these kinds of displays. He demands starving assassins, competitors willing to tear their way to the top using pure determination, not lazy veterans satisfied with easy paychecks while making the entire brand look weak and pathetic. These aren't just contests anymore. They're statements, and when you deliver that level of embarrassment to the world, what message are you sending about your dedication to the UFC's uncompromising standards? It reveals everything, and none of it good.
I think it's competitive.
Yes, it would be competitive because he could move.
Yeah.
But Luis is the classic fan of fighting because everybody wants to write Cyril Gane off. And I don't know why.
Because he got choked by John too fast, that's why.
Yeah, but still, bro, you forget that he fought tooth and nail with Francis. You literally just sat up here right now and said the three best heavyweights in the world are John, Francis, and Tom Aspinall.
I do believe that to be the case, yes.
Cyril fought Francis Ngannou very well. Hey, a mistake cost Cyril Gane beating Francis Ngannou when he tried for the leg lock. So
when people mention the best fighters, these supposed elite heavyweights, let's cut through the lies. That's marketing fiction designed for casual viewers who don't understand the sport's complexity. Look what happened to Curtis Blades. Talented fighter, sure, I'll give him that. But Sergey Pavlovich completely demolished him, exposed every single weakness, proving the massive difference in ability. Then consider Tom Aspinall's championship victory. This isn't about skill differences. It's a tremendous canyon separating levels, a harsh, undeniable demonstration of what happens when you're not operating at peak performance. Success requires more than just showing up. It demands surviving incredible pressure, embracing brutal tactical warfare, and maintaining that relentless, unstoppable drive toward glory. Every training camp for these elite athletes becomes its own war because they know one mistake, a single moment of lost concentration or brief satisfaction, destroys everything. This constant crushing pressure requires absolute perfection. What do you think that kind of endless grind produces? Definitely not for those lacking courage.
Ngannou to fight again because I don't know what he's doing. You got to talk John into it. John's talking about not fighting again. He got arthritis or something. I agree. I don't know. Maybe we just throw Gable Stevens in there. I've been saying that for a while.
You think, but Gable needs time. John even said in a year Gable will be UFC champ. You don't think he needs a little more time than that?
I said throw him in there, so I'm not saying throw him in against number one, but I think he's got another fight coming up pretty quick. Put him in there. I don't know, easy. Hey, give him a couple easy ones, right? Then move him up to someone.
If you're trying to dismiss Cyril Gane, you're making a massive error. This isn't opinion or wild guesswork. This is documented UFC reality. He took Francis Ngannou, one of the most terrifying heavyweights in history, to the absolute breaking point. That leg lock attempt wasn't weakness or panic. That was pure championship intensity, a calculated, extremely dangerous gamble. Writing him off completely after one mistake, a single defeat against a legend like John Jones, means you're totally ignoring the incredible quality of the man who submitted him. Jones might be the greatest ever. This isn't about one loss, it's about understanding the established heavyweight food chain, the hierarchy at the very summit. So one submission hold enough to completely destroy an entire career, an entire legacy, a position earned through years of spectacular performances? Absolutely not. Everyone's talking about Gable Steveson like they want to fast track him straight into the UFC as if he's already proven elite, as if heavyweight isn't a bloodthirsty wasteland. They're suggesting easy matchups for Gable, acting like we should just slide him in there like it's some kind of exhibition before the serious competition begins. You really think any competitor, literally anyone, ranked in the top 15 of UFC's heavyweight division doesn't face crushing championship pressure from the opening bell? You believe that pressure magically appears after a few tune-up fights? That foolish thinking creates completely unprepared prospects who expect time to grow. But this isn't about development. It's about possessing natural fight intelligence, primitive instincts to survive immediate danger, or becoming another tragic lesson for future hopefuls. What does this really mean for you? For us, the dedicated fans who spend our hard-earned money on these pay-per-views, hungry for that raw, unpredictable violence? The Octagon isn't just a fighting space, a simple enclosure. It's a cruel, merciless mirror. It doesn't only show who wins on any particular evening, it reveals who's truly prepared, who has genuine combat intelligence to survive, and who possesses unbreakable mental toughness to climb that vicious, blood-stained mountain. That myth about easy entries? Complete fantasy sold to casual fans who don't grasp this sport's savage nature. This isn't about being talented, it's about performing at a level that completely destroys talent. It's about handling championship pressure from contract signing, facing the stark, devastating reality of extreme weight cutting combined with the intense, unforgiving truth of combat sport's biggest stage. Either you have the raw, unstoppable hunger to thrive in that shark tank, to conquer impossible adversity and meet every single expectation placed on you, or you become another warning story. This sport at the highest level demands far more than basic ability. It requires warrior spirit that refuses to break, unwavering commitment that resembles madness, and pure unshakable desire for true greatness. So what are you prepared to sacrifice for that?